The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says the Mississippi River has reached a point where they will start building an underwater sill to prevent salt water from moving upstream from the Gulf of Mexico. Definitely not the first time we've talked about this or heard this, right? It's the latest effort in protecting the water supply for thousands in Plaquemines Parish. Matt Rowe, public affairs specialist with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, is joining us this morning just to give us a little bit of a insight into what's going on, but also an update. I know a lot of people almost have it's a little bit of a trigger warning when we talk about last summer and they hear it again this year, but we're in far better condition than we were last year. Matt, just tell us what you guys have going on.
That's correct. By this time last year, we were looking at the sill augmentation. We'd been in low water for several months. We'd already built the sill initially, and conditions were worsening on the river last year. This year, the river is following a much more traditional low water season, with low water being in August, September, October timeframe. And so we've hit the trigger on the river, and we've begin the process to construct that underwater sill to arrest progression of the saltwater wedge.
And you guys have some help with special equipment with that. Can you just give us a better idea of exactly what you mean by being able to kind of dig and then that helps the whole situation?
Sure. Where we build the underwater sill is about 90 feet to the river bottom, and we raise the river bottom up, essentially building an underwater levee. And so we had put a contract out yesterday. We're hoping to get that awarded and mobilized by early next week, so that process can begin. But you need a dredge that has, the reach to be able to get down to that 90 feet to collect the sediment and start placing it to build that underwater sill.
Is there anything that you all learned from, what we dealt with last year that has been able to help us a bit this year?
Absolutely. One of the things we looked at from last year and applied it to this year was we started tracking the location of the toe of the saltwater wedge once the river fell below 400,000 cubic feet per second. Previous years, we started tracking it at 300,000 cubic feet per second. And so once the river fell and we reached that trigger, we were out monitoring and sharing that information with our partners at the state and Plaquemines Parish.
Oh, that is great then. A little bright light from last year, what we dealt with, and taking some of that knowledge to better help us this year. And then, of course, the thing that most people are thinking, especially Plaquemines Parish, drinking water. Are we still in the clear as far as anybody who's in those areas?
Similar to last year, areas below where we construct the sill may see impacts. Boothville, Port Sulphur, Point Elahash, Plaquemines Parish, they're working their issues at those treatment facilities. We're providing technical assistance right now. We may see heavier operations like we did last year, but right now we're still kind of early in the low water event, so we're just now starting to construct that sill.
Okay, and as you guys are doing this work, I know something you and I talked about is that for anyone who has concerns or questions, they're really focusing on their parish leaders is where they can get the most updated information.
Absolutely. The local parish governments, they run the water treatment facilities. They're taking testing of salinity levels there. So if anybody has any concerns about that, check in with your parish governments, follow them on social media, anything like that, because they're going to have the best information for those local communities.
Okay, well, we appreciate you so much, Matt, for joining us this morning and breaking all this down.
All right, thank you.